news. Michelle with the news. Michelle with the news. Michelle with the news. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it up. Hi everybody, it's JD. Welcome to another.
That's what she said.
Oh shit! I see what you did there. It's a whole new thing we're doing here on We Watch Shudder. If this is your first time checking out an episode, this might be a weird one because this is completely different from what we normally do. In fact, this was all her brainchild and a spin-off of our normal Michelle in Review monthly episode. So for a change, I'm just going to shut up and I'm going to turn it over to my co-host who's here with me.
It's Michelle, and hopefully that does not disappoint anybody or they tuned into the wrong episode.
Well, yeah, I feel like my Michelle with the news jingle suggested who it was that should be here, but you never can tell. You never can tell.
If the last year has taught me anything, the general population is kind of full of dummies, so they could hear Michelle in the news and be like, what do you mean? I thought this was wicked for good.
To be fair, Michelle, we did only get one angry review anywhere whatsoever when I suggested that I would be happy if Donald Trump and Elon Musk both died when we were recording an episode right about this time last year. So The nice thing is I get the feeling that a lot of those dummies don't listen to our show.
And then we are the dummies. We're the dumbest people who listen to our show, and I'm fine with that.
You don't listen to our show?
I sometimes do.
Do you? Oh, I don't.
I listen to the Michelle in Reviews because I like our lack of template, especially with this one. This is going to be real. I'm nervous about it. I feel like I'm turning in a quiz late and that I didn't do enough research, and I know I'm going to fail it. Like, I got a lot of pressure on me for this one.
Well, let's find out.
Let's all find out together.
Let everybody know what's up here, Michelle.
Yeah, so we've been doing Michelle in Review for a while, and I realized I have too much shit to talk about, and I wind up rushing and cutting things out because I just want to talk about news at the beginning and things I'm excited for in the upcoming month, and I realized, why, instead of torturing these people and doing a 2-hour-long show, why don't we just do it in 2 separate ones? And if they're interested in the news, then they can listen to that. If they're interested in what I watched in the past, they can listen to that. If they want to listen to both the past and the future, they can listen to both episodes. Listen, I'm all about freedom, y'all. So let's stop torturing you guys with these super long episodes and break them into chunks. Also, I love a good chunk.
Does it matter in any way what a chunk of it is?
Sometimes. Yes, it absolutely, like, a chunk of flesh can be upsetting. But a chunk of cake, always happy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Also makes good sense because now we're going to still do the Michelle in Review. That'll be dropping first day of every month for the previous month. But the news program, it might be Michelle with the news. It might be something else. It might be different every time. We're going to put that out on the 15th every month. So that actually, I was just thinking, if we tell them on the first of the month what movies are coming up that month, that doesn't give them necessarily a lot of time to prepare. So,
exactly.
I thought it was a brilliant idea, and
Thank you.
I certainly would rather do 2 1-hour records than 1 2-hour record. Holy shit, those things get weird after you reach about the 90-minute mark. So,
yeah, they do.
All right.
Well, let's see if this one gets weird before we hit the 90-minute mark, shall we?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. I don't know what. Wow.
Okay. Well, we're just going to move past that. Things are getting weird before the 90-minute mark. You are right. Here's the format of this new segment, at least for now, until I decide to change it. We're going to do 3 different things. First off, this month's releases. Also, JD, I am hearing myself in your headphones again.
Okay, let me turn them down.
Well, you are doing that. So we're going to do 3 separate chunks because I like a good chunk.
How's
first
that?
chunk, that sounds great, I think. Except now you froze on me. I hope that you can hear me. Because now, wow, we are Oh no, do you hear me now?
You froze on me for a moment as well too, but you're back now.
God doesn't want us to do this. Is it because you implied that we want Trump to die?
It might be. Frankly, it might be.
We will be in the news for different. God has cursed these two podcasters. Of all the people, I just hang out and watch birds and cross stitch, okay? Anyway,
well,
so
Michelle,
our chunks.
Have we been cursed or are we just... I don't know. I feel like I'm not cursed. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the news here, but I had an experience today where back in December, I ended up having just a shit pile of trouble with my car right after Mom passed, and I was trying to go back to work and all of this shit.
Oh, hang on. Breaking news. JD's mom died. I was going to do that later in the episode, but perfect.
Wow. Anyway, so I finally got this new car, new to me car, and it's been great, and it drives really well. And then it's been super cold the last couple of days, and I went out today to start my car, and it was completely dead. And I was like, what the fuck? And then my friend Scott came over, and he helped me jumpstart it, and it jump-started right away. And I found out the reason that my new car that wouldn't start after I had this old car that was just a pain in the ass that wouldn't start for a long, long time is because I left the fucking dome light on for a day and a half.
Well, that made you a real domey.
Oh, for Christ. Well, my point is, Michelle, I think I'm just a magnet. I don't think I'm cursed. I think I'm just like... I think it's like bad shit I'm a magnet for bad shit. Like I'm just a natural attractor for negative energy.
I don't like that.
Fair enough. Anyway, should we talk about the news, Michelle? I'm so sorry, guys.
I would love to.
Oh fuck! I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's the news in your life. I have a different type of news, and this is good because you won't have news. It's not like Michelle in Review where you can tell me what you watched. You don't do the news like I do.
No, all I'll have is reactions to shit I didn't even know was happening until right now as well.
Yeah, perfect. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So here's our chunks. Chunk number 1. This month's releases. Well, I guess I have to change that. This month's upcoming releases refers to next month, so February 2026. It's the movies I'm excited for. There were so many in February, so I cut it down. Some big ones are not on the list, like Scream 7. Get over it. If you're going to see Scream 7, you know about it. It's not on my most exciting movie list. My next one, movie news. And now you may be going, Michelle, it's a horror movie podcast. What do you mean that you have a section for movie news? That's because, bitches, third chunk is video game news. Horror video game news. That's right. Psych you out. We also talk about that now because they just kept leaking into the Michelle in Review, and so I just gave it a section. In the future, it'll probably be less video game news, but I'm making up for some lost time, and I'm doing it at the end because we might have a strong discussion about one of the final topics that I have. So that's the order until it changes next time. Hey, that is a Tron Ares cup that JD is flashing around. He's flashing me, y'all. It's real aggressive. Okay, so next month's movie releases I am excited for in February. Let's get into it. First off, February 6th, there are 2 movies in particular that I am very excited. The first one, Twisted, directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, whatever. He is of Saw fame, and he has a movie coming out that stars Djimon Hounsou and also Lauren Lavera from the Terrifier franchise. She is Sienna. And then I think there was another person in the trailer who I have forgotten about. But it looks real nitty and gritty. I don't fully know what's going on because I do like to go into these things as blind as possible. But I did watch the trailer a couple of weeks ago. And the little bit of memory I have is that Lauren Lavera is trapped in a house and he is going to perform surgery on her. I don't fully know what that means, and I'm excited to find out. But Darren Lynn Bousman of Saw fame, I have a feeling it's going to be real gross And I love that. I am real excited for the grossness. So I'll be seeing that one. And then the next one, also a potential gross movie. IMDb lists it as body horror, folk horror, monster horror, psychological horror, whole bunch of horror. Also coming out on February 6th, Whistle, which is about an Aztec death whistle and a bunch of high schoolers who accidentally stumble upon it and then learn what an Aztec death whistle is. So, any comments about those two movies, JD?
I would say, there's a lot of things you said talking about that first one, whose name I've already forgotten, unfortunately. Twisted. You said something about somebody from Saw, and you said something about that girl from Terrifier.
Sienna, Lauren Lavera.
Now, she's just an actress, so, like, that's not... I don't know. You just said a lot of words there that are connected to things that I'm not really as stoked on as a lot of other people, so it doesn't hit me with the same level of stoking as before. However, you tell me somebody made a horror movie about a fucking Aztec death whistle, and I'm there sight unseen. That's all I need to know, because that's just a hell of a concept. If you've never heard an Aztec death whistle, by the way, there's videos all over YouTube of people demonstrating them. It's a real thing that they used, like, to intimidate people, like, through fog and from a distance and that sort of thing.
And it works.
Fucking horrifying. Like, if I was just walking through some fog and all of a sudden I heard it sounds like a person screaming from hell. It's fucking nuts. So wait, is this Whistle movie, did you see anything that maybe indicates it's any kind of thing related to found footage?
No, it does not appear to be found footage at all.
Okay.
I did not watch the trailer. Again, I like minimal and minimal information, but from the still images I have seen, nothing implies it's found footage.
Yeah, I'm ready to go for Whistle. It's called Whistle. I wish the movie was just fucking call it Aztec Death Whistle, or even just Death Whistle, It's a horror movie. Just call it something horror. But now it's like that movie Marshmallow. I'm still trying to figure out why that movie was called Marshmallow.
It has a sequel coming out.
I heard.
It has already been approved.
I heard.
I didn't put it in the news section, and yet I got to mention it anyway. Guys, in case you don't know who I am, I read hundreds of horror articles, and I'm just excited to get the news out of my head and out into the world. I'm not the only one.
Are we going to talk a little bit later about Mr. Miska and his interesting shift from Bloody Disgusting to Dread Central?
We are.
Sweet,
please.
Know
we are.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
I got a little carried away about Aztec death whistles, but
that's okay. Like I said, sometimes, well, I guess I didn't say it this episode, but I do put things in here just because I know you'll be excited about them. So Whistle, while I'm excited, I was like, JD's not gonna like Twisted, but Whistle.
Well, you threw out that chain of body horror, monsters, all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm there. Let's do it.
Yeah, of course.
Let's do it.
So next, February 13th, Friday the 13th, we have Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, starring Sam Rockwell. He is a man from the future who shows up to a diner in order to recruit a bunch of people in order to save the world. This is definitely more comedy. It might even be more action, sci-fi, less horror, but I do think it falls into the category enough that I wanted to include it on my list because I have been very excited for this one. I really like Sam Rockwell. I am a fan, and this one I did watch the trailer for, and you know what? It looks good. So I'm excited about it. Had you heard about that one, JD?
No, but
that's gonna be a good one. It better be.
Well, I'll take. I don't know. Sam Rockwell is an incredibly fun guy to watch. So yeah, I mean, look, I watch a lot of stuff. I don't watch nearly as much stuff as you do, but yeah, I'll probably see it.
Excellent.
I know that was real deep commentary there from me.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm not gonna lie. What really happened there is I kind of like spaced out for just a second while you were talking, and
that's a bummer.
The Sam Rockwell part is the part that I caught. I apologize.
Great. Okay,
Michelle,
next one,
I find, look, this is gonna be a shock to everybody based on what I'm about to say, but I finally get my ADHD testing results on
I was
Friday.
about to ask. I was like, man, I'm so excited for that and to
Maybe
have more concise episodes.
maybe they'll put me on Strattera and I'll stop doing this.
Maybe. Maybe we'll see. Okay, our next one, this one's on here as a JD movie in case he doesn't have it on his radar. February 15th. There's a movie coming out, and usually, if there is the same director, writer, and star of the film, I get real nervous. But when that person is Bruce Campbell in a new movie called Ernie and Emma, hell yeah, I'm gonna go see that. Ernie and Emma, it has something to do with him trying to scatter his wife's ashes and just processing her death. It's definitely a comedy. I mean, it is Bruce Campbell. There is no horror. Fuck off. Bruce Campbell is a horror icon, so he's on the list. But if you had not heard of that, Ernie and Emma coming out February 15th.
Writer, director, star, all
Yes.
three. Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Sold. I'm there. This is
Yep.
literally, this is a big part of why I enjoy this show. This part of the when it was the Michelle in review part is I don't have to follow the news anymore. Michelle just tells me everything cool.
Whether you want to know it or not, I'm going to tell you everything you might need to know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. So February 20th, let me try that again. There are 3 movies coming out that I have been very excited for. One of them was doing festival rounds last year and has been killing me that I could not see it. First off, let's just start with Psycho Killer, the new movie starring Georgina Campbell. This is written by Andrew Kevin Walker, the same writer from Seven, Sleepy Hollow, that one Metalocalypse movie that I really like. Directed by Gavin Polone, whose name I don't recognize, and now I'm going to pull it up on IMDb. 8mm. I think I like that. I don't remember. Anyway, Psycho Killer is something to do with a slasher. Oh, JD Perkins' little ears up. It's a slasher film, and it's about somebody becoming one of his victims. I don't know. It's very vague, but I have been seeing non-stop coverage of this film. Really high hopes for it. Georgina Campbell is great in everything she does. That woman can do no wrong. She is an innocent, angelic woman, and I love her. So I'm already a little bit biased, but the still images I have seen look gnarly. They have said that it is very much in the same flavor as Seven, and I love Seven. So I'm excited to see what we're gonna get from Psycho Killer. I have a burlesque song to that. That is my my Jason Voorhees routine.
That song is awesome. You know, legitimately the first time I ever heard that song was over the credits of
Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I even knew who Talking Heads were. I've never been a huge Talking Heads fan, but so I had never heard that song. Anyway, no, this one I don't know. Oh, I didn't know a lot about, but I had heard the name. I've seen a couple of things in my Facebook feed. I think the guy's got a cool mask. The little bits that I've caught in my feed because I have it thankfully set to not autoplay videos anymore.
Same.
So I just catch stills. But no, that all sounds intriguing. What I'm looking at here shows me that apparently Malcolm McDowell is in it. He's always worth a look.
Yeah, I guess I should have mentioned massive horror icon Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell. I went with Michael McDonald, which is a completely different man. He lives in Illinois, has 2 wives and 4 children. Anyway, I should mention him too, but that's just how much I love Georgina Campbell. I completely just glossed over Malcolm
Georgina
McDowell.
Campbell was, she was in Barbarian.
Barbarian, Influencers.
Wait, who was she in Influencers?
Without spoiling anything, she's at the very beginning and a catalyst to some events that happen.
Oh, okay. She was Charlotte.
Yeah. Yes, and she's
Gotcha.
in Black. Wait, if that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, doesn't matter. She was also in Black Mirror. That's how I learned about her, and Black Mirror's great. So, Georgina Campbell, Awesome. Next movie that's also coming out that same day. This one, I'm okay if I have to wait until the weekend to see it, and I don't watch it on the 20th, but I want to. I want to do a triple feature. I might call in sick to work that day. If I don't feel well, I gotta go watch movies. Just kidding. That's what PTO is. Your girl's a corporate bitch. Okay, so this is not a test. It's a zombie film. I love zombies. That is one of my things that, like, if you give me a zombie, I'm sold. I'm all good. I am happy as can possibly be. Happy as a clam, is that the phrase?
Yes.
This one might have been out previously and is just hitting streaming or video on demand. Maybe it was a limited theatrical release. I don't remember. What I do know is it becomes available to me specifically on February 20th. And it's just a bunch of high schoolers who take shelter in the high school while zombies are there. I don't know anything else. I don't need to know anything else. It sounds like a solid zombie movie. I am sold. Give me those people being eaten and being real sad about it.
Michelle loves zombie movies so much that her favorite song is the 1994 hit Zombie by the Cranberries.
I do actually really,
It's a great song. It's a fucking rad song.
My high school boyfriend, who is partially the reason that I love 28 Days Later so much and best Christmas movie, I'm telling you. The reason I love that, his brother was obsessed with the Cranberries and would play Zombie on repeat. So the same time I was learning how much I love 28 Days Later and watching that on repeat, I was also listening to Zombie, and I feel like it kind of influenced me, and that I am part of some sort of psychological experiment that I have not been fully informed of the details, and it's not quite ethical. But it would explain some of the shit that happens to me if it was all just staged.
Michelle, are you suggesting that the 1994 big hit Zombie by the Cranberries was a psyop to prepare people for the impending wave of zombie films that would come several years later?
No, what I'm saying is that it's all about me, and that this entire thing is an experiment to fuck with me specifically, that they invented zombies just to see how I would react. That's why I was raised on movies like the original Dawn of the Dead. As a baby, they were just like, let's fuck her up a little bit and see what happens.
So what you're, again, let me just clarify, if I'm understanding now, what you're saying is that the entire universe is a simulation created specifically to get to the experiment of you plus zombies?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
it's
cool.
preparing me for a potential outbreak, which will also be staged actors.
I just
don't worry, I got therapy next week.
No, I just wanted to make sure I was on the right page.
Yeah. Nope. You're totally on the right page. Same book, everything. Oh no, the page is ripped. Oh no, we're missing some. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we won't. Anyway. Also, February 20th. Finally, this fucking movie. Okay. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting. If this movie sucks, I might kill myself. I don't want to be dramatic, but I cannot help but be dramatic because I have been so excited that I am absolutely terrified of what this movie will become. This is Redux. I'm just going to read you the IMDb description. Irene Kelly travels through parallel universes, repeatedly killing her daughter's murderer. As she becomes consumed by vengeance, her humanity hangs in the balance. Does that not sound cool as hell? Let me answer that for you. It does sound cool as hell. Bonus, it was written and directed by Kevin McManus and Matthew McManus, brothers, I believe, who also did the Block Island Sound back in 2020, which is just a weird fisherman movie. And once I heard about Redux, and how excited people were in the festivals that it was showing up to, I went and I watched the Block Island Sound, and that plot, plus seeing what they have done previously, I'm sold. It also stars a lady named Michaela McManus, who has to be related, right? There's no way there's a Kevin and a Matthew McManus, and they're like, we're only casting McManuses from here on out. But you know what? In this weird simulation psychological torture situation that I've got myself in, won't be surprised. So Redux, this has been one of the movies that I have just been waiting for.
You said it's about a lady like jumping from like alternate universe to alternate universe, killing her her daughter's killer.
Yeah.
So
just
it's
repeatedly.
So it's kind of like Everything Everywhere All at Once meets the early 2000s Jet Li classic The One.
Listen, I'm already sold. You don't gotta sell me more. If any movie is like Everything Everywhere All at Once, even a little bit, I'm sold. The bagel? You give me a bagel, I'm sold.
The Jet Li classic The One is not typically I'm not a big action movie guy. But that movie has and I'm also not a big fan of the band Disturbed in any way, but that movie has one of the greatest moments right near the beginning of the movie, and it's 20 odd years old, so I don't mind spoiling it. There's that song where all of a sudden he goes, ooh, ah, ah, ah. And as soon as he does that, and the band gets loud, there's like a mouse on the floor that fucking explodes. It's pretty fucking wild. Anyway.
I need to rewatch that because I do not remember the exploding mouse, and you've sold me. Okay, cool. So that's upcoming movie releases in February. To recap very quickly, February 6th, Twisted and Whistle. Not Twisted Whistle, which is what I almost said, and that is a movie I would watch. What do you mean a guy's doing unauthorized surgery while playing an Aztec death whistle? That sounds rad. February 13th, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. February 15th, Ernie and Emma. February 20th, God, I'm going to be so busy. Psycho Killer, This Is Not a Test, and Redux. Oh, it's going to be a good month for movies.
And that's just the theater ones.
I think so. Well, maybe. I don't think Ernie and Emma is theater. Not all of these are theater. They're just getting released. Some are video on demand. Fair. I'll find them. Wherever they are, I'll track them down. If I gotta go fucking across the country, I'll go to Canada. I'll go to Canada, watch Redux.
I frankly would be surprised if Americans are being allowed into Canada at all right now.
Wow, let's keep being sad. On to movie news. Let's skip right past that statement. Movie news. First, we gotta talk about something big that other people might not care about, but JD and I care about a lot. Brad Miska bought Dread Central. Don't know who Brad Miska is? That's fine, let me tell you. He launched Bloody Disgusting 25 years ago, and then he sold it to attempt other creative endeavors back in early 2000s, I believe 2001. Bloody Disgusting is where I got a lot of my news information from, because I see it there and then I go track out other details. And now he bought Dread Central. Which is kind of a competitor, but I also feel like there's so much room to grow when it comes to horror news that it's not really a competition. We need more things, so like that's kind of cool. And already, as somebody who very frequently reads Bloody Disgusting and Dread Central articles, there has been a shift. They are constantly covering new horror action figures of various lines, including NECA. And that is really cool, and I'm wondering if that's a Brad thing, because I did not see that, at least not to this degree, and I'm loving that, because I have a whole wish list of little things I gotta buy now.
Yeah, it's just a crazy story, right? I enjoy good stories, and like you said, he founded this site that became a real landmark of horror on the internet. It became such a big deal that several years later he was able to sell it for a good amount of money, still remained connected to it and was involved for a while, eventually leaves, and then he buys his competitor. That's a fucking great story, right? And now it's like, because Dread Central also, the same way Bloody Disgusting does, they've been involved in producing and distributing films now as well. Which is something that, I mean, Miska's the guy who invented the VHS franchise back with the original trilogy before Shudder took it over several years later. He was involved with Terrifier 3. He's done a lot of stuff, so it will be interesting to see if his influence can bring, because like you said, there's a lot of horror media, right? There's Bloody Disgusting, there's Dread Central, there's Rue Morgue, there's Fangoria, of course. There's all of these outlets, and I think it's great that we have all of them, because they all have kind of their own vibe and their own way of looking at things. But it'll be interesting to see if he's able to bring it to that same level.
It also feels like it's kind of a house flipper situation that we don't see very often, where he created Bloody Disgusting, which is like building a house. He sold it for a lot of money, and then he was like, I can't afford to buy that house that I sold earlier. I'm going to go buy another house that's a little bit cheaper, make that better, sell it for more money. What's it going to buy next? Twitter? It's just the first website that was like,
it's X.
Oh, okay, Zitter. So that's why people have been calling it Zitter, and I like that a whole lot more. But yeah, no, it's an interesting story. I am not unhappy about it. I think that's really cool that he's like, I kind of want to get back into that. Bloody Disgusting is too expensive for me to buy and own again. I'd have to be like just another article writer, and I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna go buy this smaller company. I love that. It's a great move. Yeah. Next one, I am realizing so much of this news is just for you, and here's one of them.
Wow.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, there's a whole, like, I kind of cater these to, like, is anybody gonna care? JD will care, at least.
Well, I mean, I was hoping you would be trying to cater it to our audience.
Nah, fuck them. We are our audience.
Wow.
So this one, I don't know how you're gonna react. So I'm excited to talk about this. Crystal Lake is a new prequel series being produced by Peacock and released by A24, which is obviously a prequel to the Friday the 13th franchise. They have stated it is not a slasher, more of a 70s thriller, and it stars Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees. So
I would say I am cautiously optimistic. Of course, I've been open about how, like, the Friday the 13th franchise overall is not necessarily one of my favorites. There are specific movies in the franchise that I fucking love. The first film obviously is a classic. I still think maybe at this point, number 2 is my favorite of the entire franchise. Jason X, I'll say it forever, is unironically one of the greatest horror comedy films I have ever seen in my life. And anybody who didn't, I feel like a lot of people came down on it because they didn't really understand what it was doing, right? Like anyway. So I'm caught. Anytime though that you take something like this, I hate it when people shy away from the word horror, right? Because it's like,
well, they're not. They're shying away from the word slasher.
Okay, I thought you said they weren't calling it so much a horror as more of like a thriller.
Not a slasher, but more of a 70s thriller.
Okay.
Then again, thriller and horror do kind of compete.
Yeah,
where it's usually one or the other.
That's the kind of thing that you usually see happen when somebody is just, like, they feel like if you call it a horror movie, it's going to immediately put you in some kind of box. No, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Here's what makes me a little bit more excited for it. The showrunner is Brad Kane, who made It, Welcome to Derry, which I know you haven't seen yet, but I think is great. And I'm not the only one. It's not even just, I think it's good. A lot of people do. It's a really, really good series. But he also made Black Sails, Fringe. He's made a lot of really good shows that do give me hope for Crystal Lake, and it is more about the town instead of the Voorhees family. And yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, and that's the other thing.
Too many episodes for me to add to my watch list, so I'll only watch it if a lot of people say it's good. But
that's one of my other concerns. I'm glad you said that how you did is like, what if this also turns out to be one of those things where it's so barely actually connected to the Friday the 13th film franchise that it almost feels like, oh, this was something else and you just tacked on the Friday the 13th parts of it to capitalize on that association. I'm worried that that's how it's going to feel. I have a lot of worries. But Linda Cardellini's awesome.
We know that you have a lot of worries.
Guys, As part of my ADHD evaluation, I was given a questionnaire that I needed to give to somebody who's known me for a long enough time that they're really familiar with my different behaviors and thought processes and stuff. And so I asked Michelle if she would do that for me, and she did. And this was her response immediately upon completing it. She sent me a message and she said, that questionnaire was basically like a list of writing prompts for if somebody was writing a roast about you. And that's just such a, like wow, but like that's, it's encouraging so far as a potential diagnosis, but also, wow, fucking harsh. Thanks a lot, Michelle.
Well, it was specific behaviors that I didn't even realize until it was asked. I should have made notes of some of the best ones, but there were generic things like, has this person ever acted out in an upset manner without thinking ahead of time? And I was just like, yes, like so hard, like yes, all the time, constantly. And like, has this person often reacted emotionally and then regretted it later? I was like, yes, absolutely. So it was like very specific, like just hitting the same points. Yeah. And it was very funny.
Yeah, I have a lot of frustration. Or man, if that comes back and they're like, nah, you seem pretty normal, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what book you fucking read, but
I mean, anyway. You could be like me. You don't have ADHD. You just have PTSD that presents with ADHD symptoms.
Oh, there's all sorts of fun things.
It feels like horror versus elevated horror. I'm like, I don't have ADHD. I have PTSD with ADHD symptoms.
We already know I have the delightful unspecified mood disorder, which is very likely probably bipolar 2. And man, you want to talk about some PTSD. You know how you know you got PTSD is when you tell a story from your childhood that you think is hilarious and everybody's just like, oh.
They're like, are you okay? Oh my God. Here, we're going to sidetrack for a little bit.
We've just completely gotten off the news. And we do therapy portions like this all the time, guys.
Here's the therapy portion. I did have a med change this week.
Oh, what'd you get off and what'd you get on?
I am increasing my Lamotrigine and pausing my Prozac for a week.
Taking off the Prozac and adding some more Lamictal.
Yep, just for a week to add more. But I was talking to her and basically she was like, yeah, no, it definitely sounds like you've been in a manic episode for 3 weeks. I'm like, I know, please help. I love my psychiatrist. She is great. Because last time I met with her, I was like, yeah, I'm feeling stressed out and anxious, but like in a manageable way. And I'm also very concerned about current events. And this one I was like, Dr. Wong, please help me. Please help. Everything's uncomfortable. I can feel my skin. I'm so sensitive to I'm aware of the air in the room. When I move, I feel the breeze on the rest of my body. Please help.
I love how you were like, yeah, I'm really stressed and things are heavy right now, but not to like a debilitating degree. Like I'm holding out. My immediate reaction was, Michelle, are you the proper person to assess whether or not this is more than you can handle right now?
Good point. It does. When John starts going, maybe you should book an appointment with your psychiatrist. That's when I go, okay, it's a problem. Because he's like,
something's happening now.
You haven't breathed while you were telling me how excited you were about this musical. And you are a little obsessive about it. And you're like looking up the Instagram of all the original Broadway cast and learning all of their life details. Maybe you're a little fixated and you might need an increase in your medication. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
Give me that Lamictal. I take
here's
that
a fun
one too.
Story.
And Prozac.
Yeah, it's a good one. Nice. I've got a nice little blend. Like this stuff takes care of this up. This one takes care of this down. This one makes everything nice and smooth. I'm on a whole bunch. I hate taking pills. I wish there was just one pill, and I hate it. I hate taking pills.
That being said,
I'm a
I
different
hate taking.
person unmedicated.
I'm sorry, I talked over you
No, it's
there.
okay.
That being said, I hate taking pills too, but take your fucking meds, guys. Take your fucking meds.
I hate it. I hate medication. I will avoid it every chance I get. But I'm a different person. I'm not a fun person without meds.
Well,
at least now I'm slightly fun.
With that in mind, Michelle, speaking of meds, I have an insulin shot I need to take. So how about we get back to the news?
Okay, first I gotta tell you this quick aside. I got distracted talking about meds. Here's the thing I think about at least once a week. It's one of those right before I fall asleep. Things of hey, remember that thing that happened when that was a low moment for you, right? So Nick Weemy, who we used to both know, you knew through stand-up comedy. I went to college with him. had a massive crush on that boy. Let me tell you. He played the guitar at my house for me once, and I was like, I am in love. Obviously, I'm a weirdo. It did not go anywhere. Everybody knew that I was very into him. Story of my life. But we were sitting in a room it was a bunch of dudes and myself, because I was hanging out in the boys' dorm. We were watching, I think, what is the what the fuck is the movie with the curb stomping?
Oh, American History X.
Thank you. I kept wanting to say American X, and I knew that was wrong. American History X. We were watching that, and I don't remember who said what, but I was like, oh yeah, that's what my boyfriend used to say before he beat me. And everybody got really quiet, and Nick just went, wow, Michelle. And then, like, it was real awkward. But I said it because I thought it was funny, even though it was true. In the context of whatever, I was like, oh yeah, that's what he used to say. Isn't that funny that I used to be physically abused? And he was just like, wow, Michelle. And I was like, oh fuck, I have ruined everything. I have killed the vibe. So I think about that a lot.
I was drinking in college once at a party, and we were sitting at a table with a bunch of people, and things were getting that we are all drunk, and you're all like college age, so you're trying to talk all deep and philosophical about shit. And this drunk girl was talking about some outlooks on life, and before I could stop myself, I just looked her right in the eye, and I was like, man, somebody hurt you real bad, didn't they? And she started crying.
Oh man, but that would be so funny. Especially if it was me and I started crying, I would tell people about that. I'd be like, it's so funny. It hurt so bad, but it was really funny. And then we'd be in this endless cycle of, are you okay? And be like, oh yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's not a normal reaction. Okay, back to the news while you take your insulin shot.
It's already taken.
Speaking of shots, okay, well, fuck it. Next one. The Raven. This is a movie that's coming out, and here's why I'm talking about it. I don't know what it's about. I don't care. I don't know who's in it. Here's what I do know. It is the latest movie to claim that it's Tony Todd's final movie. They keep doing this. They keep saying Tony Todd's final movie. There are 2 more movies in the upcoming section of his IMDb. This is not the last one. This is just the latest movie to claim that it's Tony Todd's final movie. Personally, I think the monologue from Final Destination 5 was a perfect bookend, and that's great. But at this point, I feel like everybody's just like, they're racing to be the last one to put out that final movie so they can be like, no, this is the last movie. No, the latest one to claim it's Tony Todd's final movie is The Raven. But there's 2 more.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is very likely, like, they were shot a while ago. Like, because I do believe officially the last thing he shot was his Final Destination Bloodlines thing. But no, that's immediately what I thought, is like, oh, all these people now with these tiny little, like, they got Tony Todd for a day to do like a small character insert, are just deliberately delaying their release of the movie so they can say it was the last Tony Todd movie ever released. Come on, guys, just put your movies out there.
Yeah, but then I would never talk about The Raven. They're making a good marketing move. It's the right move. I respect it.
Well, it's the right move to get your name out there. I don't know if it's the right move to get people to watch your movie.
That is fair. That is absolutely fair. One very quick snippet that I'm just going to say and then we'll move on. Not because it's bad, but just because I don't have enough to say about it. Black Mirror confirmed for an 8th season. I know. It's very minimal news. They were going to bring it back. But, like, I love Black Mirror, and I'm very excited to see what dystopian thing they will think up next, because so many of their episodes that used to feel really upsetting are now just real. And so I love them. They take what if technology ruined our lives, and they make it real.
What do you mean, what if?
Yeah, I'm just saying there's some good technology out there. There's just a lot of real bad.
Yeah, it's like, here's some alternative ways things could go horribly wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Speaking of series that have been confirmed for another season, I don't know how long ago it was confirmed, but I just found out that we are confirmed for a season 3 of the Mark Duplass, Patrick Brice show, The Creep Tapes.
Nice.
Which we are going to be talking about The Creep Tapes season 2 on an upcoming episode of We Watch Shudder.
We will, now that it has been confirmed. After JD asked me if I could have them watched, and I went, yeah, maybe. And then 2 minutes later, asked him if we were doing an episode about it, and he just screenshotted the discussion we just had. And I went, hang on, let me clarify. I was like, I know it sounds real dumb.
If you guys could see the message chain between Michelle and I sometimes, it's pretty fantastic.
Listen, I changed my meds, okay? It's going to get better.
I'm not saying it's a one-person situation. I do plenty of dumb shit on there, too.
Ugh, yeah, we're real dummies. We're the dummies listening to our podcast. One more piece of horror news, or horror movie news, and it's not even a horror movie, so don't kill me. These are very broad, generic things until I figure out the format of this show. Back in the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025, I upset JD when I listed my favorite movie of the year as Smile 2 instead of The Substance. And he was very grumpy about it. So this is some Smile news for you. We are getting a 5-issue comic series called Smile for the Camera by Hannah Rose May and Mariana Puglia. It is a prequel to the Smile movies. Pre-orders are open until June, and you know I got my copies. I have only looked at the cover art of the 5 issues. It looks creepy as hell. I'm very excited. I love comics, not traditional superhero comics. Unfortunately, I've tried. I just can't really get into them. There's occasions, but I love horror comics. I like reading. I like seeing really upsetting stuff. So I'm excited to see some upsetting stuff. Smile for the Camera. You can go pre-order. Just Google it. You'll find the website. And I believe the 5-issue comic series I got is autographed, I think. Yes, it absolutely is. Now that I think about it, because I was like, do I have to order 2 so that I can read one set? Or am I just going to be very dainty when I read them? So we'll see how I'm feeling on that day. I'll be more medicated, so I'll be less reckless. And maybe I can just like gingerly change the pages before putting them in comic book sleeves to never be touched again. But I want to read them, but I also don't want to pay to own a second copy. Maybe I'll buy them on Kindle at the same time. Who knows? Maybe I'll do that kind of crazy thing because I don't want to ruin them. I don't even have them yet. So yeah, Smile, 5-issue comic book prequel to the movies. I'm excited.
I'm glad you mentioned it because that reminds me of another bit of news I actually have involving another comic.
Breaking news. JD's mom died.
Wow.
It's not written. That is not in my outline anywhere. Wow. Continue. I should just do that every time you interrupt me, and that will be this whole show.
Anyway, I haven't had a chance to actually look at it yet because I wanted to wait until the entire miniseries was released, but IDW started publishing a comic series called Event Horizon Dark Descent last fall. It's a 5-issue series. The last one is dropping here on February 4th. But, again, I don't know how recently, but it was also recently announced that there is another mini-series on the way called Event Horizon Inferno. Now, this first one, Dark Descent, I guess is kind of a prequel, similar to the Smile thing you were just talking about.
Smile
but then
for the camera.
Yeah, Inferno, this series is set like 200 years after the events of the film. So it's I don't know. I'm super excited for that last Dark Descent to drop because then I'll actually be able to read them all. Yeah, February 4th. That's what I said 2 minutes ago.
I know. I'm excited because I immediately Googled it. I have not heard of this, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited to finally be able to check that out. Apparently, it sheds some light on some things from the movie in some interesting ways. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Reading
it better. Otherwise, what's the point of the prequel? They're just like, here's a comic series that's a prequel. It has nothing to do with that. It's about some farmers.
No, Michelle, obviously it connects, but I mean it explains some of the things.
JD, sometimes you forget that I try to make jokes. And that I'm very funny. And that all my jokes land all the time.
That's exactly what it is like. Do I forget that you make jokes or do you make bad jokes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both can be true.
This is America. It's both. And all of it.
Oh, it says America. Stop making it sad. Let's go on to the next section. Video game news. I am so excited. I don't have a ton. These are just a couple things that I'm very excited about. I also need to stop playing with this gummy. I forgot to take my my supplements today, my vitamins. So I was just like, I was trying to eat my gummy without having food in my mouth while talking. And now I have just molded this gummy into a little orb. And it's a little warm gummy orb full of B12 vitamins. And I'm going to have to eat that later. And I'm not looking forward to it. So I've done that to myself. On to the video game news. Michelle has fucked up her gummy and regrets a lot of decisions. Hang on. Okay. I have put it out of arm's reach. I do have a med change right now. I fucked up that gummy and I'm going to have to eat it later. Okay. Video game news. First off, one that I'm very excited about, but that I think JD might also like, which is why I am bringing it to the discussion. Roots Devour releases on January 27th. It's a Lovecraftian card game. Here is the Steam description. Extend your roots, imbibe fresh blood, and expand without end. Roots Devour is a strategic exploration game centered around a card connecting mechanism. Drive your frenzied roots through swamps and over frozen mountains, invading human cities until the darkness descends.
Oh, so I imagine when they say like a card connecting, it's like a tile, sort of like a strategic building game, like where you're adding on like new branches or whatever into your roots, almost like a domino tree or something. I've seen similar games like that.
It does. I've seen some gameplay footage, and it seems very unique. I will say that, but I think that's probably the closest connection to anything that I could think of. Is that as you play your cards to try to strategize in order to grow further. But and the graphics look simple and pretty. And
I was going to say, it's a video game, though. It's not an actual table game.
No, it's available in the Steam store. This is a PC game coming out on January 27th. Also, I like a card game that's digital because I don't have to clean up shit. Huge fan of that. I'm so excited to let my roots devour things.
I play Magic the Gathering on Arena exclusively. I don't own a single card. It's all digital.
The worst part about playing Yu-Gi-Oh was shuffling. I take
that back. I do own one deck of Magic cards that I've had since like 1998. That curiously enough was an all rats deck, sort of prefiguring my later obsession with rats. But I also have several copies still of a custom Magic the Gathering card that was made of me as a promotional item for the comedy shows at CoreCon one year.
I have those too.
Do you have the whole set?
Binder. Yes, I do.
Do you have multiple copies of the whole set?
I will have to look.
Because mine is... I have the full set of the ones they did the next year, but I don't have the full set of the Magic ones. Man, this is great podcasting.
I'm making a note. I'm pretty sure. I know I have like 30 copies of myself.
Yeah,
because I was giving them out.
Yeah.
Oh, look. I might have extras of everybody. I literally just looked at them yesterday because I had found some while cleaning and was putting them in the binder.
I might need to trim this part out.
Okay, well, that's fair. Anyway. Okay. Next, January 28th, a new game comes out called Hellmart. This one is not for you, JD. I mean, it might be. Who knows? Maybe you'll like it. But this is during the day. You're a grocery store cashier. I'm already sold. You give me a simulation game where I'm doing a boring game like checking out customers and stocking shelves, 100% on board. But wait, it gets better. At night, you defend the store from eldritch horrors. The trailer makes this look so fun. The monsters coming after you are crazy, wild abominations. Lots of tentacles, lots of extra faces. And the store, even during the day, has a lot of creepy elements where you're like, this guy is smiling way too wide. And this can of beans says it actually has can of brains. So everything's still a little bit fucked up. And then at night, you're just defending this property. The trailer, like, it looks like it's going to scare the shit out of me in the dumbest way possible. Like, every time something happens where I'm like, fuck, I thought I was safe, I'm gonna laugh hysterically and then be also very mad about it. And that's my favorite kind of horror game, where I'm not traumatized forever like Silent Hill. So I'm excited for it. Hellmarked, December 28th. Also a PC game. I don't know if it's coming out on any of the other platforms, but I think all of these are PC games. Listen, I have a preference. I used to be an Xbox girl, but now I don't want to have to switch to a different chair in a different location of my house when I am done with my workday. I just want to stay in the same spot. So PC gaming all the way.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
No, I'm. Here's the thing with me about video games is, I don't like. I really enjoy, like, I'll go back and play some like old school 2D scrollers or something. You know, I fucking throw on some Super Mario Brothers, whatever, every now and then. Video games, when they got into more 3D spaces, and when you have like that Resident Evil, Grand Theft Auto sort of first person but slightly removed perspective, and like in moving around in 3D environments, I don't navigate that well at all. Everybody plays that shit way faster than I do, so like I definitely don't want to play co-op games or anything. But no, all my favorite video games are and have always been more like strategic puzzle solving things. There's an NES game called The Adventures of Lolo, where literally is just every level or is just a single screen where it's a puzzle that you have to solve to get out without being killed, get out of the room without being killed. It's one of my favorite games.
Oh, that looks so cute.
It's dope.
I Googled while you were talking.
Anyway.
Okay, this is good to know. This is your kind of thing, because now I know what kind of games to recommend for you.
Seventh Guest. Did you ever play Seventh Guest? 11th Hour?
That name sounds so familiar.
Oh, it's
to me.
old
I'm trying to
90s
Google
like
quietly.
puzzle solving horror haunted house game.
Oh, I don't
An old
think
school
I've played
Sierra
this.
title.
I was gonna say I used to be a huge Sierra fan.
Oh yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry, anybody? Those used to be so fun when I was too young to play them. I was like, oh my god, this is so edgy. And now I'm like, oh, this is cringy, and I still like it. The cruise one, the one where he's on a love cruise, set sail for something. I don't know. But anyway, Sierra Properties used to be great. Okay. Next one. Also, I like that most of the movie recommendations I have, I'm like, this is kind of for JD. Video games, I'm like, JD, fuck off. All of this is for me. Webcam horror games. We've got 2 of them coming out. In case you're not familiar with webcam horror games, these are games that you have to play with your webcam on. We have had other types of games, even some non-horror games, including Before Your Eyes, which was a narrative-driven game where your webcam was on, and every time you blinked, it would go to the next scene. So you're trying to watch your life flash before your eyes, and you're watching something emotional, and you blink and it's over. And it's about life moving too fast sometimes, and it's very upsetting, very beautiful. That won a whole bunch of awards. That's not what these games are. So one of them is called Don't Stop Smiling. Basic premise: if you stop smiling in real life, you die. You are trying to blend in and smile as though nothing's wrong. So if you grimace, you look disgusted, anything, you'll die. At first I was like, that sounds awful, but I have a feeling that there's going to be safe zones where you can like rest your face. Because I'm like, if I have to do that for an hour, I'm going to be miserable, and I'm just going to print out a picture of my face and put it in front of the webcam so that I can play the goddamn game. Because that's how I do things sometimes, because fuck it, I don't have time to smile for an hour. So that one's coming out. We're also getting, wait, I think I wrote down names wrong. I don't remember the name, and I don't remember which of these is correct. Hang on, let me Google this. We don't edit. Before Your Eyes. Yes, that was the beautiful game I was thinking of. I don't know what this other fucking game is called, but there's another one coming out where the monster can see the player, so they need to physically hide when the monster shows up. I'm gonna go see if I can Google this game really quickly. Eyes Never Wake. There we go. So Eyes Never Wake is the other one. So Before Your Eyes, beautiful game. Not to be confused with Eyes Never Wake. And in that, in real life, if the monster shows up, you have to put yourself under your desk to hide from it. If it detects a person on the webcam, you'll die. So I'm excited. I love that this is a new format because that does put a lot more pressure on me as opposed to like laughing to myself and keeping myself from becoming spooked from things. Like I have to actually physically do stuff. I don't like doing anything physically ever. So I'm gonna like those. I'm excited. I think it's a fun type of horror game. I'm glad that it's not an oversaturated market and that they're still fun and unique when these come out. I have a feeling we're gonna get a whole bunch of them and then I'm gonna be sad about it.
I am curious because you mentioned with the smiling one, is like I'm just gonna print out of my face smiling. I was gonna ask if you thought you could do that for the one where you're not supposed to blink, because I'm curious like how long will each of these scenes go on before they just change on their own if you're not blinking. I'd be curious to see exactly how much total content was produced for that.
There actually is quite a bit of content. It's been a while since that game came out, but I watched a lot of gameplay of it to see how far other people went. And I remember at least one scene that was kind of short. So when it ended, it just went to the next scene because that guy like was just staring, being like, I want to see what happens. And it just ends, or else like the dialogue just stops. So you're sitting there. So you're like, oh, okay, I will blink now because nothing else is happening.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was curious about, is if it would automatically move to the next sequence if you just kept your eyes open.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been a while. I don't remember exactly, but I do know somebody did that and found out that there is an end point. It's not hours and hours and hours of content of the same scene. Okay, next. Lionsgate is quote unquote looking into developing video games for John Wick and Saw. I would love a Saw game. Now listen, we have had a Saw game, 2009 and 2010. We got Saw games. They weren't bad, but they're just not what I want. And I would love to see what we can do with new video game engines. And John Wick, holy shit. That is such a good property to adapt into a video game. I can only imagine the fighting sequences against the bad guys in that. If a dog dies in the video game, I am just going to put the controller down and never play it again, though. So hopefully there's no dog in the video game. But I am very excited. Like, I'm actually maybe more excited about the John Wick video game than I am about the Saw. Now, keep in mind, I put this in the news, and it is just quote unquote looking into. But that's how excited I am about those two properties potentially becoming things that I can play as. Ooh, we need a Saw game where I'm Jigsaw and my job is to design the traps. In the games we have, 2009 and 2010, you're escaping these traps. You're wandering around this area trying to get out and trying to save other people and stuff. No, I want a game where I have to think of the trap. And if I fuck it up, I go to jail. And I just live in prison now, and oh man, my cancer is eating me away, and this game is no longer fun. Like, instead of that, I want to be able to, they have to be like, okay, what's the lesson you're trying to teach them? And then they're like, that's not a good enough lesson. You're just a bad person trying to murder people for fun. And I'm like, yes, achievement unlocked. I am just torturing people. I am John Kramer with no moral compass. But I'm excited for John Wick. Like, that's
I was going to say, honestly, I'm surprised that there isn't a John Wick video game already. That's kind of, I obviously wouldn't have had any awareness of it, but it still surprises me to learn that it doesn't exist. That seems like the kind of thing that you would just immediately get a video game for.
I do think the properties that seem like the most obvious, really fun games are also the ones that are least likely to be made. The video game that I thought of like 15 years ago, and I've always wanted, but I need it to be done correctly, and I don't think it ever would be, is a Mistborn video game where you are manipulating metals and navigating this map, and the combat being so fun, because Mistborn is my favorite series of all time, written by Brandon Sanderson. I got a signed copy of the first book, and I cried at Christmas. I think that we do have a video game, maybe. Hang on, now I got Google on the side. I love that I have access to this information. Yeah, we did get one, but it just is not what I wanted it to be. I need like a game where like each button, this one pushes the metal, this one pulls the metal, and we might be at the point where like maybe, oh my god, thank God for Google, top result pops up on Reddit. Mistborn author is talking to AAA game studios to adapt the fantasy saga. Holy shit. My heart just
You're
skipped
breaking
a beat.
news on the news, Michelle.
Oh. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, yeah, I'm really excited about that. Because we finally might be at the point where we could do that kind of game. Holy shit. Okay, well, that's what I need. I need Mistborn to become a game where I am manipulating the metals and I'm pushing enemies and I'm pulling them into each other, and now I'm burning that one metal that lets you see into the future. I might have to go reread Mistborn. We need to be done because I need to go reread Mistborn.
Hey, this is your show. If we need to be done, we're done. Say goodnight, Michelle.
We got one more topic. Our last
Okay.
topic. It's going to be a hefty topic. Okay. There is a game that people who listen to this might be familiar with. It did get quite a bit of news. It is called Horses. Just the word horses. It was banned on Steam and the Epic Games Store. It sold 18,000 copies, which was enough to break even, but it wasn't enough to fund another project, so the studio will be closing down unless sales continue, at which point, like, maybe they will be able to reopen, but probably not. This might have completely destroyed their stuff. IGN gave it a rating of 7 out of 8, or 7 out of 8? I don't think that's right. I think it's mistype. Either way, it was a high score. I think it was 7 out of 10 because Eurogamer gave it a rating of 8 out of 10. And here's where it gets tricky. It was banned because they claimed that it showed a child in a sexual situation. Horses, being very vague about it, is about complacency and your ability to go along with things when you decide to work as a ranch hand for the summer and you realize that the horses on this farm are just naked humans with horse heads on them. And these are people who have just been like kidnapped and now they're forced to be a horse. Forced to be a horse, of course. And one of the early adaptations of this game, the one that was submitted, had a child riding one of the horses. The child was fully clothed, but the horse was naked. So they amended that, and now that child, because it was a character, it was the one guy's, like, their daughter. So then they made the daughter 20, and now she's riding one of the horses, and they still kept it banned. And it's such a conflicting thing for me when games are removed. And like it, I think it's just as we had talked about many months ago, I can't remember the name of the people that I hated, but Vile Exhumed wasn't able to be distributed because it got banned from all the things because they're cracking down on that and about sexual content and abuse, but it was actually sending a message that was about how women are abused and how that's not a good thing. It wasn't glorifying it. And I just think that this discussion about what is considered okay and what's not by distributors is a fascinating one. Some of the discourse has pointed out other games that are very big from large studios that have been okay, but include quote unquote child sexual content. Cyberpunk 2077 has a very upsetting side story that stuck with me. Great game, by the way. I liked playing it on the release date and having cars just blow up in front of me. All those glitches, those were the good days. I like Cyberpunk 2077 when it was so glitchy it was unplayable, because that was just an added component of like, I know I can't take the elevator because the game's just gonna freeze and close, so I gotta learn how to clip through this wall. And I got through a mission and the lady was just dead but was talking to me. Man, that was a game that was not ready for release, and it's one of my favorite gaming moments. But anyway, it has a very upsetting side quest about this guy who's kidnapping children and doing things to them. And then South Park is all about children, and there are a lot of sexual things involving children in South Park. And so I think it's interesting of like, where do we draw the line? Do we draw the line? If we don't draw the line, does it actually let us do we bring in those exploitation moments more easily? I think it's a very fascinating thing now that Steam is cracking down, because Horses is an upsetting story. There's a purpose to it, and I think IGN and Eurogamer giving it good scores is an indication that it wasn't just, oh, these people are horses, oh, naked horses. Like, it's upsetting, and it's about how you have to participate in order to continue this. And are you one of those people who will participate, or will you put an end to it? Shady.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Okay.
That I mean, I we talked about this to a real long extent when we were talking about Vile Exhumed, which, by the way, I don't know if I ever told you, but I did try to play through it, but I feel like I accidentally skipped ahead to a lot of the end parts because all of a sudden, after about a half hour, it was just over. Like, I got some weird things and then things changed, and I know there's several puzzles that I hadn't sorted out yet, and so there's stuff I didn't get. I might go back and try it again. Anyway, yeah, it's such a slippery slope, and I know that's a very common argument, but it's like, also when you consider that fact, especially when you think about a movie like The Bunny Game or this movie Vile Exhumed, where there is value for some people in being able to explore. I know a lot of people will hate the term artistically, but I don't know what other term to use. But to explore those experiences and use those in a way that, a lot of it is confronting things that actually happen to you. Like, that's sort of the whole root of The Bunny Game, is this woman's real world lived experiences as an unfortunately addicted prostitute, and some terrible things that happened. And it's I think what you do is you do require that people who make these things are very open and upfront about what you will see and what will happen in that game, and make that information available immediately to anybody who is considering playing it but is worried and wants to know. I think that, and I've said it before, that's what justifies me respecting your right to go to those places. Is, do you go out of your way to protect the people who are not comfortable or potentially very much harmed by going to those places? I think there's a responsibility. And again, there are some people, I know, like yourself, who you don't even want to know, right? So I'm not saying you should be forced to tell everyone, that everyone should be required to know before they see it. I just think you have to give that option to people. And at that point, like you said, especially when you consider everything else that's available out there, and where the only difference here is this is some tiny independent company that has no leverage in the entertainment industry whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's a pretty shitty standard. And so it doesn't sound like the kind of thing I would be terribly interested in, but it's definitely an issue driving situation.
I think also what's fascinating about the situation involving horses, the game, not just horses, the creature that go clippity clop, nay. These are these are people saying, nay, we don't like this. But the interesting thing is that they draw the line at this, it was actually to depict sexual conduct involving a minor was the exact rejection. But yet it wasn't sexual content. There was a naked person, and that is not the most upsetting thing in the video game by far. There's a lot of stuff where I was like, oh, this is very, very bad, and that's not why it was banned. So we just say, like, here's the hard line, here it is, but we allow, like, so much other stuff. Not saying that this, if it didn't have that moment, that would be allowed, but I'm just saying, like, if that's where we draw the line, what about all these other things that are going to be way more upsetting, where this is the thing that is somebody else's line and we are arbitrarily deciding? It's so difficult.
And it's also wild because it's such a situational based thing, right? Like Like, this is what Steam is doing, or these companies are doing, is they're just not allowing these games to be sold through their platforms. But then I also think about the fact that, like we were just talking earlier, about how I finally sat down and watched the second August Underground film, which is, by reputation and now by my experience, like the most severe and fucked up of those three films. And I can watch that anytime I want to for free, ad-supported, on a service called Fossum. And that movie is fucking vile. And just anybody off the street can just go watch it for free on an ad-supported service. You know, it's and my point there is just that, like, it's such an arbitrary standard, and it's an arbitrarily applied standard. And these are the kind of things where I say, yeah, get your hands off, let people decide for themselves, as opposed to, like, you know, should we all get vaccinated against this thing to make sure that the society doesn't, you know, we don't kill 2 million people or whatever over the next 4 or 5 years.
Oh, making it sad again, JD. Comedy podcast.
I'm not making it sad, Michelle. It's sad.
There's another
simply acknowledging the truth.
There is another component of this too, in that the developer said that they did not expect this to get banned from Steam, because that is not the point of it. This was not supposed to be just an edgy game. There is a point and a story that's trying to get across. It is a narrative video game that is supposed to make you question some dark stuff. So they said, well, if we had known, we would have approached this differently, because they, even after they made that adjustment, Steam still said, no, we're not allowing this on our platform. And they're like, well, yeah, we definitely would have done things differently if we knew that it couldn't be distributed to people, because the point was not to make just an edgy game. We thought we were making a game that said something and was about something and would be available to people. And it's so difficult, because any of this content immediately becomes a gray area. What I am hoping is that as this happens more frequently, we get some sort of platform that has just, these are narrative-driven video games that are supposed to have a deeper meaning than just entertainment. You're probably not going to have fun playing this. You're going to feel uncomfortable, and that there becomes a better distributor of those. I actually think, talk about Dread Central, they have been big in the indie video game realm, especially in 2025. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they've put out that I've played, and maybe they will be the ones to be like, hey, we're going to start hosting some of this stuff, because they're the reason that Vile Exhumed became such a big topic, and they helped get that out to people. And I would love to see them be like, yeah, this is not going to be a fun entertainment game like you might find on Steam. This is going to be really upsetting and a bad experience, but it's at least available to you and not bankrupting studios.
You know, I wonder if just in a general psychological sense, because this is a thing I've always collided with, because I've never been a real heavy video game connected person. It's I play casually, but I've never been a super. I wonder, because these are, like, I'm not saying this as a way to downplay them in any way, but in my mentality, they're not video games, right? It's like interactive storytelling, right? There are definitely little things you maybe need to figure out along the way to, like, unlock other chapters and that sort of thing. And so there is that little bit of a problem solving element. But I wonder if maybe people have more of a gut a psychological anti-reaction because of that idea that it's a game, right? Like, I wonder if that possibly has something to do with it. Because, like I said, like, Vile Exhumed, a crazy experience, really well built, but again, to me, doesn't feel like a game, more of, like, you know, like I said, like, interactive storytelling. And I wonder because you know me, I'm always, like, deep into the heavy significance of specific word usage, and I wonder if that's a big part of it.
There is kind of a genre I'm going to use that term very loosely because I don't think Horses or Vile Exhumed is anything like this. But there is a style of narrative video game that I think does just need to be outlined. And here's what I'm trying to say. There's a different game that I did not enjoy at all. It is highly, highly praised. It's called Doki Doki Literature Club. If anybody has played this game, they're maybe audibly laughing right now because this game, the quote-unquote game, is not necessarily a game. It's you're in a high school and you're in a literature club with all these cute girls, and it's, you know, just kind of clicking to get through text and making very few decisions. And it is more of like an animated / not so much animated, but like a graphic story until things get really fucked up. And then it is a little bit of a video game, but it takes a very long time to get there. And those kind of games, like, I don't know what we call that. Aside from like narrative, which is so broad, but like there is this kind of genre of like, this is not a game. You're not necessarily going to have fun. There's no skill involved. This is just clicking until you get through the story. And it's also going to be very uncomfortable. And in some cases, it might address an actual existing topic. In other areas, like Doki Doki Literature Club, it just might give you nightmares that you stumbled into without understanding what you were getting into. JD, I don't want to say anything. I think you should play quote unquote Doki Doki Literature Club, because I want your reaction when the thing happens.
I am not afraid to tell you right out of my gut, Michelle, that I feel like it's far more likely that I would try to go through Vile Exhumed again. I will tell you this, even in just the short time that I did play of the game and the few things that I did unlock, that is surprisingly creepy, just sitting in your bedroom at them, because again, the way they frame it to make it look like you are this person looking at your computer and these are the things you have bookmarked. It's definitely kind of creepy.
I think you should finish Vile Exhumed, but let me tell you, Doki Doki Literature Club also free.
Oh.
Does that sell you?
No.
Oh, okay. I want to see your reaction to the thing.
What I need to do is I need to find a thorough walkthrough of Vile Exhumed so I can just go through and make sure that I experience everything there is to experience.
I can find one for you because I did the same. I missed a couple things.
This is such great podcasting.
I think for other people who are interested in this, it is great. Listen, JD, if we're honest with ourselves, none of this is great podcasting. Let's be real.
Wow.
Let's be real.
I think we have a style all our own.
We do.
We occupy.
We are the narrative horror adventure. Oh, we are like horses. Not necessarily gonna have fun, but not banned.
Wow. Man, coming up on the 4-year anniversary of this podcast, I wasn't expecting that level of... Wow.
You thought your ADHD questionnaire was a roast. Just you wait, I have material now. I was like, wow. Yeah, I didn't realize he did that until it was asked in this form. Yeah, I think that's what I have to say about horses, is I think it's interesting. It's not necessarily wrong. But it's just figuring out like what is somebody's limit versus somebody else's, when like other things are, I think, easily way more upsetting out there, and I don't necessarily think those should be banned either. And also, how do we stop the things that are just existing to exploit certain people?
Well, yeah,
and it's very difficult. It's so difficult.
That's another element of it that we talked about previously, is like what it really comes down to is they don't want to spend the time and resources it would take to actually go through, and also just the psychologically taxing side of it, to have somebody or some people go through these things individually and make an evaluation of them on, whether, and, discussing it with the creators and evaluating, what is exploitational and what does feel like it has something more to allow. But that would be expensive and difficult and time consuming. So instead, we just blanket ban everybody. And it's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a solution for it, but I do think it is an interesting thing that we'll continue to see more of, especially as Steam is cracking down. And for good reason. In some cases, like there was some stuff that should not be available for public consumption and did exist for really awful people to do some stuff that they should not be allowed to do. But in these other cases where it's actually trying to get a very uncomfortable point across, yeah, I just think I don't have a way I feel about one way or another. I think it's interesting as an observer. I do wish that a studio was not out of business now because they didn't realize that they weren't abiding by.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing is like you couldn't have helped these. I don't mean to keep adding that's another things, but like you couldn't have let these guys onto this like before they put it up for sale, right? So they could like at least have the opportunity, the option to modify the things that you found unacceptable about it.
Which they did. And that's where I'm like, they changed the one thing that you listed in your rejection letter, and they said that they re-reviewed it, but you gave this thing. It's weird. It's weird to me. Where I'm like, what else did you find upsetting? And yet this is the feedback that you gave. So. Yeah. It's tricky.
Shame.
It's tricky to rock around. It's right on time. It's tricky. Horses.
Did you say
horses.
to rock around?
Yeah, I don't know what the lyrics are.
To rock a rhyme. That's why they say right on time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I am too young to know the actual lyrics. I'm just a dainty little lady. Okay, on that note, I hope that everyone has enjoyed the first Michelle in the News.
Yeah. Side note, by the way, 85-minute episode is why this is its own episode now, because Michelle will always have a ton of shit to talk about.
I want to be able to talk about these things more in depth. I was excited but sad to hear about horses. Because that is one that I've found very interesting ever since I initially got banned, and then I heard about it. I think it is going to change the way that games are distributed, and we're going to get these things that aren't necessarily entertaining, but still technically count as a game because it's an interaction. I think we'll see something changing with the landscape of how those are distributed. Yeah. I've said a lot of the same thing over and over. It's just fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So I will stop. I think I need to go eat this little B12 gummy that I've molded into a warm little orb.
Michelle, you know you can just throw that one away and get a fresh one, right?
No. It's still got the B12.
Okay, well.
I can't let the B12 go to waste. That's
Fair
the whole
enough.
problem. I'm out of B12.
If you're listening to this as a relatively new episode, next drop is coming up on Monday the 26th. We will be talking about the new Addams Family film, Mother of Flies. I'm stoked on that. And then the regular Michelle in Review coming up first of the month. Check out WeWatchShutter.com for a full schedule of upcoming episodes all the way through the beginning of March. That's all I got. You got anything else?
I just got a little weird little gummy to eat.
Well,
Gonna go
fantastic.
consume that. That's it.
Well,
Okay.
go eat your gummy. Say goodnight, Michelle.
I will. Good night, Michelle.